Hello everyone, welcome to Everything Arsenal. Leicester nil, Arsenal 2, player ratings, much needed win, man. That's 3 wins in a row in the Premier League. Since the beginning of the season, I've been asking for just give me 5 wins in a row for a start. Next up, it's West Ham. Let's hope we can make it 4, and then we'll need a crazy run to try and catch up with Liverpool. But let's talk about the player ratings. Obviously, there's a few good performances, a couple of standouts, and then there's a couple of standout poor performances that we need to talk about as well. But first, let's start with David Raya. What are we going to give David Raya today? Now, he had 2 saves to make. Nothing too crazy today in terms of the saves. For me, Raya has been. I think if I was to have a top 5 players of the season so far for Arsenal, Raya would definitely be there. By November, he was in my top 3. He's been really good this season. Today, in terms of the kicking, he was so comfortable. There's a point where he's almost in midfield, and there was literally the likes of Vardy were behind Raya, and Raya was having the ball almost in midfield. I was like, man, don't lose the ball there. It would be crazy. That would be offside, but don't lose the ball there. I'm going to give him an 8 for today. Again, kicking was okay, and then there's always extra marks for keeping a clean sheet. Fantastic. Rise and fantastic goalkeeper. Absolutely love him. 8 out of 10 for today. I'm going to give the center backs the same as well. Gabriel gets an 8. Obviously, I was going to give them a 7, but they get an extra mark for keeping the clean sheet. The thing with Gabriel and Saliba, I'm giving both of them 8. The thing with both of them, like 8 is a usual performance for them. Like we are so used to them having 7s and 8s every single time. I can't remember the last. I think over the last 2 seasons, this 2 plus this season, I think maybe Gabriel and Saliba have gotten 5s and 4s, maybe 3-4 times in total. Like they're always so solid. A bad performance for them is usually a 7 out of 10. And today kept a clean sheet. Vardy is always a danger in terms of running in behind. They didn't give him a chance at all. Sometimes you don't even notice how good they are because you're so used to it, but so comfortable against day. It was never looking like Leicester were going to score. So both Gabriel and Saliba get an 8 as well. They get an extra mark there for keeping the clean sheet. Superb. Both of them always superb. Hopefully can keep them together for many, many years to come. That is my dream. Lewis-Skelly, I'm going to give him an 8. I was close to give him a 7, but that clearance that he had right before we scored, that was the difference between us, dropping points in that game and winning that game. It's similar to what David Raya did against Aston Villa at the beginning of the season. That save, that double save, I think, from Watkins, or the save from Watkins' header, and then literally 2 minutes later, was it Partey or Trossard? One of them scored. I think it was Trossard scored 2 minutes later after that. This was the same today with Lewis-Skelly. That clearance, it was a tap-in for the Leicester play. I think it was Reed. It was a tap-in. But Lewis-Skelly, after I think that second half, he had given away the ball once or twice. A couple of them went literally for a throw-in. But he's still always there. He's still fighting. This season, Lewis-Skelly and Nwaneri becoming first team players, that is a huge. I think that's probably the best part of this season so far. Those 2 players, and then obviously the likes of Raya having a superb season. But these 2 youngsters emerging and becoming first team players in the same season, they've absolutely helped us so many times. Lewis-Skelly, both of them performing and scoring against Man City, both of them playing in Champions League games, scoring crucial goals. Lewis-Skelly 8 out of 10. That was a big, big clearance. I couldn't have given him a 9 because of 9 is you're absolutely superb in the game throughout the 100%. But I think 8 is fair enough. Timber as well, I'm going to give him an 8. If I was giving halves, I would have given Lewis-Skelly, or I would have given Timber, maybe Gabriel and Saliba 7.5, and then Lewis-Skelly having an extra 0.5 because of that, or maybe an extra 1 because of that clean sheet, of that clearance. But I'm looking at also the misplaced passes in the second half. So if Lewis-Skelly doesn't make that challenge, I would have given him a 7, but I'm giving him an extra mark for that challenge. So 8 out of 10. Timber, 8 out of 10 as well. The tackles and interceptions is always so good at that. I don't know. White is back now. I think just rotating them would be okay. I think in the Champions League games, we could see both of them playing at the same time. Ben White and Timber, you could actually, maybe you're going to see a back 3 or back 5, depending on the Champions League game. Because both of them are really, really good. In terms of going forward, who would you guys say is better to have on the right back position, White or Timber? Timber is technically very, very good. Ben White is also a very good passer. And last season, the last 2 seasons, we've seen Ben White putting in some incredible crosses in the last minute to help us win several games. And his combination with Odegaard and Saka has been really, really good. But listen, I think we've overplayed Timber this season after his ACL injury. So I'm so happy to have Ben White back so that we can also give Timber rest. But for today, I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10. Solid for the most part of it. I'm going to rewatch the game again a second time, but 8 out of 10. I think solid for most of it. Part I'm going to give a 7. The second I struggled a bit, gave away the ball once or twice. And I you already know, Pat is not the quickest these days. So whenever he loses the ball, he does not have the pace to cover. He'd have to take a yellow card or he just doesn't catch up with the guys. Exactly the same anytime he plays against Rodgers from Aston Villa. It's usually a struggle. But in terms of just controlling everything, I think he's been very good. I think he's definitely been in our top 5 players this season. Those days where we didn't play well against Newcastle and Inter Milan and Bournemouth away, those games Partey stood out. So he's not been hiding this season. It's hard to cover at right back some games this season. At least now we don't have to have Partey at right back anymore. Now we have several right backs fit, thankfully. 7 out of 10. Rice, I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10. He's just an incredible player. People were saying, around November, December, like Rice is letting us down. He's not, we wasted 100 million. What? Like Rice's career at Arsenal so far, I think it's a solid 9 out of 10. I'm not even kidding. Both seasons, 9 out of 10. Like he's so good. Even if he doesn't have to score, his job is not even to score, but he chips in the goals. His job is not to assist, but he has the best cross like in the league. The energy is always running. You could see even in the 90th minute, he was, literally the last attack of the game. He was bombing forward. He almost assisted. I think it was, I don't remember, it was on the left side at that point. There's a time he also bombed forward and then passed the ball to Sterling. He didn't quite get there. But Rice is just incredible. In terms of energy, if you don't have Rice there, you definitely feel it. You definitely feel it. So Rice, 8 out of 10 is always superb. Odegaard, I'm going to give a 7 out of 10, just like Partey. Wasn't the best of performances, but the last 20 minutes, Odegaard was really standing out in terms of the way he was carrying the ball forward. He was running, beating 2-3 players and taking away a bit of pressure from us. He did that a lot. And I think he created a couple of chances as well. So 7 out of 10 for Odegaard. I think he created the chance for Nwaneri when he hit the post. 7 out of 10 for Odegaard. Obviously, need more. Without Martinelli, without Saka, without Jesus, without Havertz, Odegaard is basically the player we are looking at there with Trossard. So 7 out of 10 for Odegaard. Speaking of Trossard, I'm also going to give him a 7. Again, if it was not for that assist, maybe it could have been lower, but I gave him a 7 because he got an assist. Usually, if you get an assist or a goal and have a good performance, you're getting an 8 out of 10, but 7 out of 10. Up front, I did not like both him and Sterling, like the number of offside calls we had in the first half, it was so frustrating, man. Like just, stay onside. And then even when the ball got to him, he had a very poor touch from that Odegaard chipped pass. But he still managed to keep composure and get the assist for the second goal, which was much needed. So that boosts his rating to a more respectable 7 out of 10. Trossard. The other winger, we're going to come to Sterling. Nwaneri, 9 out of 10. What a performance, what a player, what a gem we have. This guy is 17 years of age, 17. And I posted his stats from today's game. He won 12 duels, ground duels. And he won both duels, 100% duels in terms of aerial duels. Like in terms of headers, he was winning his battles in terms of aerially, which is crazy as well. He created 2 chances. He had 1 big chance created, 7 touches in the position box, 88% pass accuracy, 4 shots, 2 of them on target. The other 2 hit the post, or 2 of them hit the post, another 2 on target. I think 1 of them went just off target. He made 3 tackles, he obviously assisted. He played all 90 minutes. There's a point between the 60th and 80th minute. It was looking like our only hope was going to be Nwaneri. He was taking the ball, running with it, hitting a shot with his right foot, weaker foot, all that. Yes, there was a bit of few errors, like he overruns the ball for a goal kick, but that is going to be there. He's 17 years of age. You're not expecting him to be perfect. He probably shouldn't even be starting for us right now, but him starting for us and performing like that in crucial games like this, and the whole season, those goals against Girona and the Carabao Cup, they were shining against Man City, the goal. He's superb. Another assist for Nwaneri, 9 out of 10. Superb player. Sterling. Everyone here has gotten the list I've given someone today is a 7 out of 10, and that is Partey or Odegaard and Trossard. Now, Sterling is not going to be that. Now, the thing is, we cannot just say, he's going to still play some games because, he can't just play Trossard every single game between now and the end of the season. And in case someone picks up another knock or something or suspension, he's going to be needed. I asked for him to start today, but definitely not next week. Against West Ham or the future games that are coming up, he has to be on the bench. He has to be on the bench. Maybe bring him on for the last 15 minutes, just for a bit of pace and a bit of energy. And that was lacking a lot today. The offside, as I talked about, the offside, he was the one who was caught offside like 3 or 4 times. And then it was not, like the way Mbappe was caught offside like 10 times against Barcelona a few months back. It's different. You can see him trying to make the run, and then someone tries a through pass, and then, okay, it doesn't work. Let's try again. For Sterling, sometimes you're just standing there and then calling for the ball, and then you're offside, and then you're on the wing. It was very infuriating. And the number of times he was trying to take on a play, and then he just falls down on the ground. It was so frustrating to watch. It wasn't even, maybe even frustrating is not the word. It was sad to watch. You could just tell, like, yeah, probably Arteta is thinking, man, I can't wait for May so that you can send him back to Chelsea. You can probably think the Chelsea board is thinking, man, how can we start looking for a solution? How are you going to sell him? I don't think he's going to be in the Premier League next season. Now, we still hope that in a few games this season, he can still come on and do something for us, obviously, because he's still part of the Arsenal team and you don't really have enough players anyway. You can, again, as I said, you can't play Trossard and Nwwaneri every single day. And now we have a striker, luckily. But Sterling's performance today, absolutely miserable. Like, for Arteta to decide to take out a forward player and then bring on a defensive midfielder who has a better chance of scoring than you or creating a chance than you, that is telling. That is very, very telling. Now, Sterling did create one chance today, and he did play 60 minutes. So for that, I'm going to give you a mark or 2. So I'm going to give Sterling a 3 out of 10, but that was absolutely diabolical. Absolutely diabolical. He's just getting that 3 out of 10 because he created a chance and, yeah, maybe a couple of tackles. That is it. So it was not good at all. 3 out of 10. From the bench, Merino, breath of fresh air. Breath of fresh air. Robin van Merino, Pierre-Emerick Merino, R9. This is R Merino, whatever you want to call him. This guy saved us today. He's never played as a striker for Arsenal. He might have done a couple of times in his career, but him stepping up in a game like this, coming on the 67th minute and 10 minutes later he's scoring for us and then scoring a brace. He managed to keep himself onside, something we were struggling to do in the first half with especially the fast finish. 2 different finishes, a head and a left foot finish as well. Both crosses coming from different sides, one from the right side, one from the left side. We usually have a big problem with converting our chances. Like, we know sometimes you have to give Martinelli 4 chances for him to score 1. Sometimes you have to give Havertz 4 chances for him to score 1. We know even Saka is probably not going to score his first chance. We know how many chances Odegaard has missed, Jesus, Sterling, so many of our players. For Merino to play that position and have 2 chances and score 2 goals, that was fantastic. And he took a lot of pressure from Arteta today, took a lot of pressure from the Arsenal fans today. It was massive. It was massive. And for 23 minutes, that's all he wanted to come on and do. And he did it, what he was asked to do, without any problems at all, without complaining at all. He's gotten himself a starting position next week because he doesn't usually start for us. But there you go. Start next week. Imagine if he gets another brace next week. I'm going to give him a 10 out of 10. He did everything he needed to do. 10 out of 10. Although if I was to give man of the match, I'd give both him and Nwwaneri. So that is interesting. But for Merino, for that time that he was on the pitch, he did everything he could do, and he did it for us, and he won the game for us. 10 out of 10. Calafiori came on a lot of energy, contributed to the second goal. 7 out of 10. Fantastic. Him and Lewis-Skelly again. I have no problem even if Calafiori starts next week. That is absolutely fine. Jorginho came on, got a very good yellow card for us. So he stopped an attack and he was controlling the ball in midfield. 7 out of 10. He was okay. Arteta, I am going to give him an 8 out of 10. Very, very good. Starting lineup, we couldn't do anything, but that sub for Merino selling out, I think it came at the right time and it worked. I don't think probably 80% of the Arsenal fan base would have said, what? Merino striker? it was discussed on X earlier this week, and people were like, Merino striker, we've lost the plot. But it has worked. It has worked. I was trying the same thing with Havertz. I think he loves this kind of midfielders who go into the box, late runs, and score those goals. But the profile fits. He scored ahead, a good finish. Fantastic, man. 8 out of 10. Good subs, Calafiori and Jorginho as well. Partey started to struggle a bit. Lewis-Skelly had made that tackle and interception at the end of the game. But before that, he had given away the ball a few times. So for them, those are good subs as well. So 8 out of 10. Let me know your man of the match. Who would you give it between Merino and Nwaneri? And yeah, obviously there's going to be people talking about Sterling. Let us know what you make of that performance. But big win. And I'm happy you have another 1 week break. Let's get back to the training ground and work on everything else that we're going to do next week. Big games coming up. West Ham against Nottingham. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch up with you on the next one.